Alrighty, what is up guys, and welcome back to the daily series of Nwadei MMA, where I give you my thoughts, but more importantly ask for you guys' thoughts as I break down everything going on in the MMA community today. Today we have a lot of news going on. Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou is official for October 28th. Stipe Miocic versus Jon Jones is official for the heavyweight championship of the world later this year, I believe November or December that is. And Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko, I wanted to talk about this one a little while back, however now I'm getting the chance to, is set for Mexican Independence Day, but it's on a fight night, so I'm just wondering, is she being disrespected? We're gonna cover all of this and more, and of course I want to hear from you guys about all of this, so as you're following along, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts and opinions today. Also, first episode 1 of the Will versus the Way podcast with me and my teammate Terrence just dropped yesterday, so if you have not gotten a chance to see that, we recap UFC 290. That podcast is where I'll be talking about each UFC card, most of my recaps, most of my predictions. So guys, if you haven't gotten the chance yet, go ahead and check that out. The Will versus the Way episode 1. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so first on the menu we have Francis Ngannou finally official with Tyson Fury. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't think this was gonna happen. If I'm being honest, it's set for October 28th per Francis Ngannou's latest Instagram post. I really didn't think this was gonna happen. I mean, there was talks and close conversations with Derek Chisora for Francis Ngannou's debut in order to give him almost like a warm-up or tune-up to get into boxing or whatever. I thought that was a bad idea because, to be honest, professional boxer is a professional boxer. Yes, there's world-class talent versus regular talent, but given the fact that Francis Ngannou isn't a boxer, if he loses that fight, not only is he not getting paid really big amounts of money, but you know, he doesn't get that fight with Tyson Fury afterwards. So I'm glad that this one is happening. Like I said, it is finally paying off. I mean, he signed with the PFL. He has MMA fights going to be lined up. He has payment going to be lined up for his future. He has his place in the PFL team. He's an ambassador for PFL Africa. PFL is going to be buying Bellator soon after their expansion into Europe. So that's a big deal. Francis Ngannou's future is not only looking bright, but the present is looking bright as well, because him leaving the UFC, set to make, I think, $8 million per fight, or he's gonna make $8 million in total for a set amount of fights, guaranteed money. It's looking like it's gonna pay off because he's gonna make a lot more than that in one fight with Tyson Fury. Pay-per-view buys, even if it's 70-30, say they get 1 million pay-per-view buys, which is very likely to hit at $60 a buy, which is kind of cheap. That's $60 million in pay-per-view revenue, 30% of which would go to Francis Ngannou. Now, I don't know the inner workings of the deal. I don't know how much percentage he's getting over Tyson Fury. I would assume it's something like 70-30 or 60-40, considering these are the two baddest men on the planet. Well, the baddest man on the planet in Francis Ngannou, and then the baddest boxer on the planet in Tyson Fury. How does this one go? You know, if it goes past 6 rounds, I'm taking Tyson Fury. Just a little brief early prediction for you guys. Goes past 6 rounds, I'm taking Tyson Fury. I think he's going to try and probably lean on him and use the clinch and make him work in the clinch, because he is an MMA fighter. He will overwork in the clinch if he's not aware of it, and potentially waiting on him to gas out. Kind of the same approach he took towards Deontay. However, in those Deontay fights, he got hit. He got hit multiple times. He got dropped multiple times. Yes, he got up, but you can't get up every time. You can't get up forever, right? So I think what Tyson Fury kind of has to do is smother the range, smother Ngannou's long arms and his punching power. He does have the height advantage, and he's going to have the weight advantage, but Francis Ngannou's not going to have to cut weight, and he's going to be a big heavyweight. So much bigger than he dealt with Deontay Wilder. However, less familiarity for Francis Ngannou in boxing than Fury's toughest opponent in Deontay Wilder, and it should be a good fight. However, you know, early rounds, man, Francis Ngannou is a dangerous man. His boxing as of late has looked actually pretty crisp. He looks like he's narrowing down that footwork, and he's cutting sharper angles, and he's looking less sloppy, less fatigued in all of his exchanges, and that's something that's looking very promising. However, keeping our eyes on the heavyweight division. However, moving over to the MMA side of things, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic, it was set for November for UFC 295, and you know, I'm gonna give you guys my honest thoughts and opinions on this. Please let me know what you guys think about that whole Francis Ngannou Fury situation and about this, what I'm about to say right now. Do you guys like this fight? Do we all see this as like a big legacy fight? I mean, on paper, it's supposed to be. On paper, it's the greatest fighter of all time and the greatest heavyweight of all time fighting at heavyweight to see who's the baddest man on the planet. But one thing we have to keep in mind is that Stipe's last fight was against Francis Ngannou, which he lost. Okay, Stipe is definitely out of his prime. I would say he's 42, 43 years of age. He had that trilogy with Daniel Cormier in which he gave out and also incurred a lot of damage. His eye's never been the same since then. He had those two wars with Francis Ngannou, and now he's fighting Jon Jones, one of the greatest of all time. So I don't think that Stipe is the same. So like I said, on paper, this is a very intriguing, history-making fight, but with the context, you know, I always love to talk about context, right? With the context, to me, it's not that intriguing. Now, Jon Jones, let's talk about him for a second. Greatest light heavyweight champion of all time, moves up a little bit too late to catch Francis Ngannou or Stipe Miocic in their heyday, right? But he did catch Ciryl Gane, and he took him down. He submitted him very quickly. He showed off his grappling that he's been working on through this offseason. He looked pretty nimble and agile for the weight. You know, while he looked agile and nimble, though, he did look a little bit slower, and it didn't look like his timing and range were there. It didn't look like he had a chance to really settle in because it was such a quick fight as well. So I think some of the, at least striking, ring rust will still be there. But overall, I think Jon Jones wins this, man. This is, I guess you could say, an early prediction, but I think Jon Jones wins this because I think Stipe is just, like, his body's past its limits. I mean, his eye hasn't been right for a couple of years now. His last fight was, 2 years ago? And that wasn't any better for his eye. Going into that fight, he was having eye issues before the Francis Ngannou fight I'm talking about, because of the DC trilogy, because of the eye pokes, because of the damage he incurred, obviously the orbital bones, and you know, it's fighting, right? And you know, he's also gonna have some ring rust. So I understand why Jon Jones is taking this fight, why he wanted this fight so much, because on paper this will add a lot to his legacy. However, we have the privilege of being here in real time. We have the privilege of seeing history before it's actually made or while it's being made. You know, same with the people back in the 60s or 80s with Muhammad Ali, or in the early 90s with Mike Tyson and things like that. You know, they were actually witnessing it in that time. They knew their greatness in that time. This isn't that great of a fight to me. I don't know if there's that much left for Jon Jones to prove. I don't know if there's that much left for Jon Jones that, you know, will really excite me or get me out of my seat. Of course, I'm gonna watch this, but will I be as excited as I would have been 2 years ago for this happening? No, I wouldn't. Would you guys? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. But with that being said, I move forward to Alexa Grasso fighting Valentina Shevchenko, Mexican Independence Day. However, it's not a numbered UFC event as we're so used to watching our champions fight on. It's instead on a fight night. Is this disrespectful? I don't know, because the only reason why it would be disrespectful is if she got less pay than she would on a numbered event, which would include the pay-per-view buys percentage that she would get. So that would incur a couple $1 million along with her base pay of probably around anywhere from $400,000 to $500,000. However, aside from money, I don't think it's that disrespectful. I think that this is actually quite monumental. I think this is history. I think that Alexa Grasso is going to be the first Mexican female fighter or female champion to be on a Mexican Independence Day. Whether or not it's on a UFC numbered event, nobody cares. Man, this is history. This is history for Mexico. This is history for women. This is history for Alexa Grasso. This is history for so many different reasons. I mean, in the second most exciting women's division, flyweight, or maybe even the most exciting division in women's flyweight, she's taken on the greatest of all time in that division in Valentina Shevchenko for a second time, in which the first time was very competitive and she finished her with a rear naked choke. And so this is why this is very exciting. This is why I'm not too mad at this, because one, we're gonna get it for free. You know, everyone at home is going to be able to watch it for free. There might be more viewers than we would see on a pay-per-view event. I feel like they're going to stack this card. Shevchenko Rakhmonov versus Kelvin Gastelum is already on this card as well. And I'm sure we're going to see many more fighters be on this card. This fight is in September, so I'm sure we can see a lot more Mexican fighters be put on this card. We will see a lot more Mexican fighters be put on this card. Who do y'all want to see being put on this card? But I think that this is a very interesting opportunity for Alexa Grasso to really capture the mainstream audience. Now, I understand this is not a numbered event, so mainstream audience, what do you mean? Okay, well, you know, you guys watch fight nights. Mexico is definitely gonna watch fight nights, and it's gonna be for absolute free. If that's not mainstream audience worthy, then you know, I don't know what is. But Alexa Grasso is gonna have a chance to defend her belt, trying to go back to back against one of the greatest women fighters of all time. And if she does this, if she completes this, guaranteed, not only is she probably getting compensated for this, but guaranteed she'll be the highest or second highest paid current women champion in the UFC. What are your guys' thoughts on that? What do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about everything I've said today, guys? And also, if you've watched the Will vs. the Way episode 1, what were your thoughts on that? Who do you want to see on this show? Who do you think that we can get for our first guest on this show? We're not going to have a guest for probably the first 10 episodes, but during this time, I'll let you guys choose. I'll let you guys shoot the shit and tell me who y'all want on the podcast, who will be fun and who is reasonable for us to get. And with that being said, that is all for this video today. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for watching Nwadei MMA, the daily series, and thank you guys for liking and subscribing as well. With that being said, y'all stay safe, stay blessed. As always, peace out.